Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me, ladies. How are you doing? Twanna Carter, career and anxiety coach, and many of you know that I am also a certified consulting hypnotist. And today's topic, we're talking about self-hypnosis and how can self-hypnosis actually help you to get rid of that overthinking, right? So thanks for joining me, for taking the time out of your day and joining me. And for those of you who catch me on the replay, as always, thank you. I always appreciate it. And so if this is your first time here, again, I'm Twanna Carter, anxiety and career coach, as well as consulting hypnotist. I believe in using all modalities to help my clients overcome anxiety, right? And so what I do, I help professional women who are fed up with their anxiety holding them back, and what they want is to overcome their doubts and their stress so they can get back on track for success and happiness, because you don't have to choose one over the other. So welcome again. And I just want to give people just a couple of seconds to join, right? And I told you that our topic today is about how self hypnosis can stop overthinking, right? A couple of things. I do have a chat box, so you can drop me a chat and I will answer you on air as well. Those of you who catch me on the replay, go ahead and drop your questions or your comments as well in the chat, because I always circle back to be sure I haven't missed any comments or questions. Okay. So, just my little normal thing that I go through. Actually, I haven't told you guys all of the tricks of the trade. So, those of you who've listened in before, you know that I have social anxiety. And so, I have a routine that I do when I come on live. One thing I stopped doing was watching the clock countdown, because that just like, it's just set my anxiety level up. So, I don't watch the clock countdown to live, but I also do a couple of things that are fairly routine that help me to manage anxiety, right? Because it's not necessarily about curing anxiety, it's about managing it. So those of you at home really don't know, but I actually have a keyboard. It's one of the old style clacky type keyboards, and it's not even plugged in, but it just sits on my lap and it's kind of comforting to me. So I know I could sit it to the side because it's not plugged in, but you know what? It helps me gain some semblance of calm when I'm on live. It is small things that in your life that you can do that helps you to manage the anxiety or manage the overwhelm. And today, case in point, we're talking about overthinking. So do drop your comments or questions in the chat box as we go along. And I do have some notes that I'm working from, because I want to be sure that I get you everything I promised that I would get you today. So now, a lot of you, if you're like me, like I used to be, when I heard hypnosis, I always thought about that Scooby Doo, when they had the clown. He was running around hypnotizing people against their will. And a lot of people, when they think hypnosis, they think the clock, the little watch on the string swinging back and forth. And Hollywood tells us that people are, they're hypnotized and they go out and commit crimes. Yeah, or some of you may be familiar with stage hypnotists. Well, they'll bring people up on the stage and have them clucking like a duck for the audiences, for people's amusement, right? Well, yeah, that's not quite what hypnosis is. And so that's part of what I'll do today, in between talking about using hypnosis to overcome overthinking. That's not quite what a hypnotist does. Right now, stage hypnotists, they're trained to do that. I don't do stage hypnosis. It's not my thing. This is about as much on stage as I like to get right here, right? But the thing is, this is that a lot of people don't understand hypnosis, and there are not really massive amounts of clinical trials that are going on right now, because there's a struggle to find funding. But all of that is actually changing. More people are turning to hypnosis to help with everything from motivation to smoking cessation to getting over public anxiety, speaking out in public, to weight loss. People come to a hypnotist for, to get rid of flying anxiety. And also something like chronic pain. You can go to a hypnotist for chronic pain. I will say this, that, before I do hypnosis with anyone who has chronic pain, you really have to prove to me that you've been to your doctor and you've been diagnosed with chronic pain, because we don't want to, be curing your headache, or, getting rid of your headache, and it's pointing to the fact that you have hypertension or that you have an aneurysm. So you do need to be in contact with your doctor and prevent that, so that we understand that it is okay to do the hypnotize you to manage that pain, right? So now there's also a growing body of research that's starting to confirm the benefits of hypnosis. Now, in addition to that, what that research is also showing us is actually showing us how hypnosis is actually working in the brain. It's giving us a map of what's happening in your brain, during hypnosis, which is pretty awesome. Hypnosis has been around for thousands of years, but the science is just now starting to catch up with it. So, who does hypnosis? Well, you probably be surprised. Many, many famous actors and actresses and inventors, scientists, right, use hypnosis. Surprising, right? So, who are some of these people? Ellen DeGeneres, Adele, right? Prince Harry and Samuel Jackson. They all used the hypnosis to stop smoking. Yeah, they use hypnosis to stop smoking. And people like Fergie for weight management, Tiger Woods use a hypnosis to be able to ignore distraction around him, to ignore sound and distraction, people yelling at him and calling out names, trying to make him miss his shot. Absolutely. Tiger Woods actually started at 13 with getting hypnotized so that he could drown out sound and ignore sound. Pretty cool, right? Matt Damon used hypnosis as well. Stephen Hooker, for you Aussies, Stephen Hooker is an Australian pole vaulter. So a lot of athletes also use hypnosis. Julia Roberts used hypnosis to get over her stuttering. I wish I had known about this, because I did have a little stutter when I was younger, right? Reese Witherspoon used hypnosis for to build her self-esteem and elevate her self-confidence. Absolutely, absolutely. So Emily Deschanel and Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, they both use hypnosis for childbirth to get through the pain, so it's not as painful as what a natural childbirth would be, right? And who else used hypnosis? Albert Einstein. His theory of relativity he came up with that while he was actually in hypnosis. Albert Einstein did self-hypnosis every day, every single day. Now, if it's good enough for Albert Einstein, makes you wonder, like, have I been missing out on this self-hypnosis thing? Yes, you have. Let me answer that question for you. Yes, you have. And anyone else, famous that we know did hypnosis? Actually, Sigmund Freud did. It's like the father of psychiatry. Yes, he did. Sigmund Freud actually used hypnosis as well. So he used it, learned about it, and used it. Okay. So so many athletes and many moms in labor and corporate CEOs are now using self-hypnosis for for things such as increased motivation, right? We talked about, elevating self-esteem, raising your self-confidence, also just to enhance performance. A lot of athletes will do this, but so do musicians. Musicians will also do this to, if they have a competition coming up or a concert coming up, to really be on their game. A lot of people use self-hypnosis for better focus, whether it's, if you have test-taking anxiety, which you can use hypnosis for as well, but just being able to focus if there's a big project coming up, or, you really got some things coming up and you're having difficulty focusing, self-hypnosis actually works for that. Other people use self-hypnosis for career success and being able to sleep better at night. Because some people deal with, when you have anxiety, not only do you get overwhelmed and you do a lot of overthinking, but oftentimes you get insomnia too. So self-hypnosis will actually help you get sleep at nighttime. How awesome is that, right? And as well as weight management and stress management. Yep. All of those, you can use self-hypnosis for all of those, and including our topic today, overthinking. Okay. So see how I brought that all back around to overthinking. So now that you actually know who uses hypnosis, let's talk about self-hypnosis. And so we'll start with hypnosis and self-hypnosis. And the thing you probably will hear if you spend any time around a hypnotist is that all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Now, there's some arguments about that. And people's like, well, that's not true. But pretty much, if you don't want to be hypnotized, you are not going to be hypnotized. So that little clown on Scooby-Doo running around saying, watch the golden coin and hypnotizing people to do things against their will, not possible. If you don't want to be hypnotized, you can't be hypnotized. You have to have a willingness. Being hypnotized is about being receptive and willing. So if you don't want to, then you're not going to be. You're not going to be hypnotized. And you have some people that come in and say, oh, I want to be hypnotized. But deep down, they're like, I'm not doing this. Or, such drag me in his office. I'm not doing it. Those people cannot be hypnotized. You got to want to be hypnotized first before you are hypnotized. So what is hypnotism? What is hypnotism? When you say hypnotized, what is that? What is hypnosis mean? Well, it's really it's a process or a result of hypnosis. And anyway, self-hypnosis is a process or result of hypnosis, which is self-induced, meaning you do it for yourself. And it normally makes use of self-suggestions. In other words, when you get hypnotized, you do self-hypnosis, you're more open to suggestions, like your own suggestions. And so what do you need for hypnosis? Really, you need to be willing. Again, you can't be hypnotized if you don't want to be hypnotized. You can't be hypnotized against your will. And so I know this will probably really disappoint people, but no, hypnotists don't have any magical powers. We can't sit there and go, ooh, be hypnotized now. Doesn't work like that. Okay. There's no magic powers that allow us to walk around and pick out people randomly and say, yep, you're hypnotized now. It's not what Hollywood shows it to be. It's not actually true. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, right? Sorry, but not sorry. So hypnotists are actually trained in the art of inducing hypnosis. And it's also important to understand that hypnosis is not sleep and sleep is not hypnosis. Now, while you pass through a hypnotic stage every time you go to sleep and you pass back through that hypnotic stage when you wake up, hypnosis is not sleep and sleep is not hypnosis. They are not synonymous. Okay. So if you come to me and you go to sleep doing hypnosis, I'm going to yell at you through the Zoom thing. You're like, wake up. If you're in the office, I'm going to tap you or just, politely say, hey, you're going to have to wake up because hypnosis, you don't sleep doing hypnosis, right? Hypnotists can also teach self-hypnosis to clients, which is an extremely valuable skill, right? So using self-hypnosis is just one small part of learning to use your mind in even more positive ways. So in hypnosis is like a deep state of concentration. And because you have bypassed the critical factor of your brain, you're actually suspending, your judgment is suspended, and you're just way more receptive and open to suggestions. So every time, and you're like, well, that doesn't sound right to me. Well, get this. Every time you get lost in a movie, you know how you go to the theater and you look at the movie, especially it's an action adventure, and you find yourself flinching, they shoot somebody, you're doing like this, or something falls, you're like into the movie, or anytime you get lost in the book, you're actually in a hypnotic-like state. We all do it. So, people only are against it when they say we attach hypnosis to it, but we all do it. If you've ever been on the highway and or left your house, and next thing you know, you were at the store and you don't remember any stoplights, any traffic lights, any highways, exits, nothing. Hypnotic-like trance. That's how you got there, because you were going on autopilot. Your subconscious was running the show. So we actually all do it. So in self-hypnosis, you take that ability to concentrate and to bypass that critical faculty. You actually use that to help yourself. You use it to help yourself. That's the only difference there. So in hypnosis, when you do self-hypnosis, however, you're not typically as deep a state as you would be if you went to a hypnotist, for the obvious reason that you're doing self-hypnosis. But learning self-hypnosis is really recommended for personal growth. As I said, a lot of people do it for motivation. After they've seen a hypnotist, for instance, to get over fear of flying, they continuously do self-hypnosis to remain calm, that type of thing. Absolutely, it's good for that. It's also great for staying focused on your goals, for reducing stress, changing habits, or any type, of creativity and solving problems. So what are some ways you can exercise or do self-hypnosis? It depends. Number one is you can be taught, when you come to see a hypnotherapist, you will typically do, like in my sessions, you do 3, 4, or 5 sessions with me. And then that last session is typically, I teach you how to do self-hypnosis so that you can, over a long period of time, just maintain. So you don't have to keep coming back seeing me. You can learn self-hypnosis by reading up on it and figuring out how to do it. You can also listen to tapes to figure out how to do it. And it's important that also understand that while you will be relaxed during hypnosis, hypnosis is not the same thing as relaxation. Relaxation is not the same thing as hypnosis, although hypnosis can make you very relaxed. That's why it's so good for overthinking, fear of flying, overwhelm. It's helpful, but it's not the same thing as relaxation. So it's important to know that. And you typically do feel pretty relaxed after self-hypnosis, as well as when you've seen a hypnotist, you feel very relaxed. So doing hypnosis, again, you're just open to suggestions and you're able to be receptive to healthier habits and healthier thought patterns, right? And you can get rid of unhelpful habits, as well as you can get rid of limiting beliefs doing hypnosis. And so really the biggest thing, the reason why I'm talking today about overthinking and hypnosis is you are doing self-hypnosis. You are able to quieten down that negative chatter that typically feeds you when you have anxiety. Those of you with anxiety, we get it, right? You often have these negative thoughts and they kind of like zoom. On a typical day, you can have anywhere from 65,000 to 70,000 thoughts. If the majority of those thoughts are negative, that's a lot of negativity. But self-hypnosis, you can calm that all the way down, right? You can calm that negative chatter in your conscious brain while your unconscious mind is open to be receptive to positive suggestions. That's pretty much what you do doing self-hypnosis. And actually, it's what happens when you work with the hypnotist one-on-one as well. And consistently practicing self-hypnosis will get you that calm state of mind that you've been searching for. The clients typically report that they feel clear-headed after self-hypnosis and that they're actually able to think straight. And that same thing happens when you work one-on-one with the hypnotist. Now, I understand that there are many instances that people, they're either hurting pretty badly or they feel like the negative thoughts, so the overwhelm or that overthinking is kind of out of control and they need a bit more emotional support than what self-hypnosis does. So one-on-one hypnosis for some people with the one-on-one hypnosis with a hypnotist, it's just a better fit than doing self-hypnosis. So you actually do get faster results when you work with the hypnotist. And I am actually going to drop my link. I actually give you, I do 15-minute consultations for you if you want to check out hypnotism with a hypnotist. Say all of that really, really fast. Why don't you without being tongue-tied, right? But I do have, let's see there and put it out there. I do have 15-minute consultations and I am actually, think I've got something tomorrow, then I'm kind of filled up for the rest of the week, but I have something next week that's out. So definitely check it out if you're thinking, yeah, I would like something a little faster, and we can do that. And what I do is we go in, we set up the sessions 1 and 2. We just hit it real fast, really deep, get what you need. And then session 2, I'll teach you the self-hypnosis. So you're pretty much, when you're done with me, you're just free to go and we're finished and you've got what you needed. You've got that clarity and you've got that calm mind that you need. So definitely you can get you can get that peace of mind that you need, that you've been looking for and that you deserve, right? So I do appreciate you all for joining me today. And I don't have any live schedule next week. I'm just going to do popcorn. I may just pop up or have something that I'll put out there, but there will be on a couple of different subjects. I do appreciate you all for listening in today. And as always, those of you who catch me on the replay, thank you so much for doing that, right? And do not hesitate to, when you hear me on the replay, go ahead and set up your your appointment for a 15-minute consultation for hypnotism. And it could be definitely for overthinking, anxiety, overwhelm. It helps with all of those. So those are my motivational thoughts for you today, my motivational nuggets, as I like to say. And if I don't have any questions, I'm going to take a peruse through here. I've got a couple of windows open. I want to be sure, because I know this is posted in a couple of different places. And before I leave off, I just want to check to see if I have any comments, and I don't see any comments coming in. So I think that it is safe to say goodbye. I'll say that because I'm not sure. People will see me at different time zones. Take care. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.